Greetings, Familia. Thank you for joining me for another pick a card. This one is for the spring equinox here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's been a while since I've done a pick a card for the collective, and as you know, this year has started with a big bang for people here in Southern California with the fires and everything going on nationally and globally. It's been a very difficult time to understand, but I knew that once winter was over, I'd be having a little bit more energy to show up and channel for the collective because of the collective grief going on. You know, I always do a lot of transmutation there. Before I get more into the energy of today or of the present moment, if you're watching this in real time or this month of March or April, I'll share a little bit about the Vedic astrology that's happening. But if anything, if you want to get straight into the reading, this is pile 1 and pile 2. And this basically is the medicine coming for the spring equinox, the medicine you need, the blessings that are coming. It will be a simple, straightforward message, mostly channeling, and hopefully that you can get from it. If you are watching this present time, I have a 25% off up till March 23rd midnight. It's celebrating my soul retrieval class that I did for the political shock and the natural disasters that have been occurring. So that is Snake 2025. You can go on my website under offerings and see the readings that I have available as well as the one-on-one sessions. So if you would like to go to pile 1 or fast forward to pile 2, the links or the timestamps are below. But just to kind of get into the energy of today, right? We are celebrating the spring equinox, but it's in the middle of eclipse season. We have 2 retrogrades happening. We have Venus retrograde and and Mercury retrograde happening in Pisces according to sidereal astronomy. And this is all being led up to the next eclipse. So we had a lunar eclipse, the full lunar eclipse, right, on the 15th. It was like 13th of the night and 14th, which was with the full moon. And then we're going to go into the 29th, which will be the partial solar eclipse. And that will be also when Saturn moves from from Aquarius to Pisces, okay? This is a big shift in the energy because Saturn usually stays 2.5 years in a sign. So it's been 2.5 years since Aquarius has begun. So at the end of this month, March 29th, Saturn will finally move signs to Pisces. And it's going to be a huge moment because we're going to have a 6-planet stellium in Pisces. And Pisces is all about the endings and liberation. And so there is this sense of like the bad and the ugly and all of that stuff have to come to an end so that we can find that liberation. And so it's a little difficult time because we have these retrogrades, because we're in the middle of political strife and, genocides are going on with our tax dollars if you're in the US. And it's kind of hard to understand, but there's hope, because the hope is that we are not clinging on to an old system that is crumbling, but we are co-creating a new earth, a new paradigm, a more, heart-centered reality for the future generations. And it starts with us, and it starts with right now. And so hopefully you're in a place where you can just disconnect from everything around you, connect with this transmission from spirit, from my heart to your heart, to bring peace, clarity. And of course, if you want to dive deeper into what is happening in your world and any guidance you need, the link is below. And thank you so much for trusting me. So let's get into it. Pile 1, this will be your reading. Let's see what are the cards that are pulled, and I'll also pull some tarot. So we have discernment. Okay, so the frequency of discernment supports our ability to view the world and the people around us from a place of inner balance and detachment, yet with compassion and wisdom. I'm going to just zoom out just a bit. So it's really interesting because this is the medicine you need for the spring. So perhaps pile 1, you've been going through it, perhaps, right? Take what resonates, leave the rest. But what I'm seeing here is that whatever the lessons that you had to go through to get to this point, be it from this last season or from the years that have passed, they've been teaching you, excuse me, they've been teaching you how to discern, how to be able to make out your situation. And so these lessons, these mistakes, these issues that maybe you've gone through have really pushed you to understand what is for you and what is not for you. And the better that you work at this, and the more that you work at this, the better you get, and the easier life's challenges and obstacles are, because you're able to discern what needs your attention, what doesn't, what do you have control over, what do you not have control over, who has your best interest in mind, who doesn't, who can you share with, who can you not share with, right? This is a symbol of wisdom. So a lot of wisdom's coming through for you, pile 1. You also have change, number 12. So we do have 2, so 2, 1, and 2. The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. So not only are you learning from these circumstances that have happened in your life, but you're also able to tap into this transitional energy that's helping you see, again, what do you have control over, what do you not? And this helps you to dance with ease and grace. I have a free community for healers and artists called Shadow Dance Mystics, and one thing that I always talk about is the dance, right? The dance between shadow and light, the dance between discernment and ignorance, or wisdom and content, like what's the word? Well, yeah, wisdom and ignorance, but there was another word I was thinking. But anyway, there's this point where you are in this transitional mood, pile 1, and it's really helping you to move towards something new. And we have to discern that it is time for you to move in particular things. It doesn't have to be your whole life. Your whole life doesn't have to change, but perhaps there's one thing. Maybe it's your career, maybe it's the job that you've been working at, maybe it's the relationship. Take it as you feel fit. So what more medicine do you need, and what can help you and support you in this time is spearmint. So it says conviction. No one listens to me is the trigger statement, and the true statement is my voice is heard. Stand strong and communicate your message. The world is ready to receive what you have to share. So what I really feel for you, pile 1, is that you're learning your boundaries. And this is why it's saying stand strong and communicate your message. And this is the discernment issue too. Now, at times we feel like we need to stand up for ourselves, and it's kind of going to deaf ears. And I feel like you've learned when you don't have to prove anything, right? But I also feel that you've been working on when you have to stand up for yourself, when you have to be, have those energetic boundaries. So make sure that your voice is heard when it means something to you, right? Or it's going to get through to the person. Or if you just need to get something out of your chest, you do it in a sacred space. I feel this also helps us tying it with the discernment that, not everyone needs to know our inner recesses of our heart. And when we have those trusted few and we allow ourselves to share with those, at least 1 or 2 people, our voice is being heard, and the universe is also hearing our voice. Now, if you don't have that support system that you really feel like your voice can be heard, go to your altar, talk to your angels, talk to your support, spirit team, and talk to them. And also spearmint tea can also be really good for you. And then we also have here renewing, forgiveness. I did not deserve this, the trigger statement, and the true statement is I forgive. Allow the labels of judgment to disappear. See the situations and individuals through your heart. Forgive yourself. Again, this comes back to this idea of discernment. And now it's kind of going more in an inward kind of direction, where the discernment is like, what thoughts, what stories am I telling myself at this time? And am I being a victim? Or am I liberating myself through the stories, through the things that I share? Our words are like spells. That's why we call it spelling. And the more that we can be conscious and aware of the words and what we are spelling out with that energy of our voice, our throat chakra, then we can allow ourselves to pay attention and change, right? We're talking change here. So there is a sense of changing, not necessarily, again, nothing big like your identity, but perhaps small programming, small things that are stopping you from feeling seen and feeling empowered rather than feeling like a victim or that no one cares or you're doing this all by yourself and you don't have support system, right? But maybe it's because you've been trying to look for the support system in places where they're not. And again, this is part of the discernment, right? Like if you've been in a relationship, if you've been around family members that you just don't feel supported by, stop looking for them to support you, okay? Find the people, find your tribe who's supposed to be there. And that can be as many as one person, right? We choose our family, we choose our ancestors, we choose, who we commune with in the spirit realms. So don't allow yourself to just be a victim of, well, my environment is like this. Oh, my parents don't support me. My partner doesn't support me. My best friend from childhood doesn't support me. Okay, well then find those who do. And that's something that's really magical. And I really feel that pile 1, that can transform your life into a more liberated and embodied, empowered life that I feel that spring is bringing you as a blessing. Okay, so the last oracle card, and we'll pull some tarot, is the oil of vitriol. And you know what's interesting? You see he's like his voice. And something about this card, I'm going to read a little bit of it. Let's see what it says. Actually, you can pause the video when I show it and you can save it for yourself. I'll just read like some highlights that I see. But right away, I see someone with their boundaries, right? Standing up for themselves, making sure that no one, steps their way, but it's also asking for a gentleness, because when we suppress, things come out in a more explosive way. And so we want to make sure that we're having those healthy outlets so that we don't explode. Okay, so you can pause the video and you can read the page here. And what I'll look at is the acidity, the resentment, and the purification. What does it say here? It says, vitriol is an incredible acidic and corrosive substance, and so it comes with a few warnings. Don't overconsume. Don't lash out. Breathe and wait. No need to add insult to injury. So that comes back to the forgiveness energy. And in our chemical text, the great creature of change is known as the green lion eating the sun. Oh my goodness. And you can read this all for some additional messages. Change as the only constant. So we literally have this energy of change with the oil of vitriol, this acid. And see, this is what happens. So acid in small doses can be good for you. But acid in large doses can be detrimental. They can destroy, right? They can literally cause destruction that is unrepairable. And this is something that the forgiveness is all about, right? Forgiving yourself, forgiving others, standing up for yourself, but also knowing when is it necessary and when is it not. Standing up to those intrusive thoughts. I'm picking from the tarot now. Let's see, for pile 1, we have the 7 of Pentacles. So that is that waiting, and that card also said to wait. So the discernment of when to take action. We also have, I really love this card, and okay, let's see, maybe put over there. We'll pick another one. Because I feel like those are so powerful. We'll pick one more tarot spirit for pile 1. Where is this leading? This is a little bit of strife. I see a lot of like relationship or just like, not feeling so, a little impatience here, okay? Okay, good. Semana Wak, El Mundo. I was like hoping for some kind of positive affirmation here for you, pile 1, and then I'll end with actual positive affirmations. But look, you are your own like persecutor. You're the one that tied yourself up, or you made someone tie yourself up, and only you can liberate yourself. Only you can release these past stories. Remember, the swords, this is the 8 of Swords. This is about, you know, having those mental thoughts that are really just not useful. And with the 7 of Pentacles and the 5 of Swords, again, another swords, it's a lot of mental energy here, pile 1. And this is why purification is super important. Using spearmint as a purification, or any kind of mint. I love peppermint. They all have their different little nuances, but really mint is mint, and it's amazing. But the Semana walk for me, it shows the change. It shows that things are moving, and, you know, whatever has happened in the past or hasn't happened yet, just know, like, you're learning lessons. You're becoming more steadfast in what you want, and you're learning, again, boundaries. You're learning how to take your time. You're learning who to trust, who to support, who supports you. And all of this is really going to get you to change your luck. Big changes here for you, pile 1. Let's see what Kuan Yin says, because I feel like that's the message here, is that big change is on the way. And the more that you change internally, the more that your external environments or just the situations you find yourself in are going to be a little different. Or they're going to be a lot different, depending on what you've been working with right now. It could be something subtle, but for a lot of you guys that are watching this, and I'm going to say at least like half of you, it's kind of like a big change. It's a big change of how you view others, how you view yourself, and how you move forward. So what's the last message for pile 1? Okay. Abundant blessings, aho. Your concerns are felt in my heart. Any and all problems, the material and the spiritual, are within the realm of my interest and power to resolve. Be peaceful. My blessings are with you. What are you waiting for? You just have to surrender. Okay? The more that you surrender, the more that you learn from your past mistakes, the more that you integrate, right, and process, the easier it will be for you to move into that new light and find new outlets for that anger or that, suppressed, those suppressed feelings. Again, I have 25% off if you're watching this before the 23rd of March, 2025. Please go and use Snake 2025 for readings or one-on-one sessions. I also have Shadow Dance Mystics for healers and artists who are looking for support in their giving of offerings and services. This is for personal and professional support, as well as, I always have the Mysterium, my mentorship. If that is something that calls to you, please go and apply in the link below. Thank you so much for your trust. Sending you mucha, mucha luz. Hasta luego. All right. Ooh. Let's see what happens with pile 2. All right, pile 2. If you chose this pile, this is your reading. All right, let's go into the blessings and the medicine that you need. Pile 2, yes. And I'm like 1. All right, root chakra, pile 2. We diving right into the spiritual part of it. The frequency of root chakra, the red flower of life, stimulates passion and supports our sense of security on this physical plane, both in our bodies as well as the physical world. So, this is actually reminding me of some things that I'm posting on my story in Instagram. I'm having some free card pulls there today. And I mentioned, grounding and being in the present moment, and how that in itself is medicine, because a lot of times we're going too fast. We are like literally just flying high, right? Life is throwing things at us. We're throwing things at life. Things are, just going all over the place. But when we can find stillness, when we can find that sense of gratitude and find the groundedness in the present moment, that is medicine, and that is a blessing. So pile 2, I really, pause this video, go outside if the sun is out, touch the ground, touch Pachamama, get a flower, smell a rose, put some essential oils on, see the roots, from your tailbone and your feet, just like totally and connecting with Pachamama, because this is the time to make sure that you feel stable, especially because we're in a transitional moment where the seasons are changing. the more that you're flying high, the harder it is to be able to sustain that energy. So when you root down, you'll be able to sustain a lot more. And then you have number 44, universal love. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole of existence and truth. Exactly. So I mentioned, feeling that support and seeing your grounding cord go all the way into Pachamama and knowing that you are connected with the earth. A lot of times when I talk to my clients or do interviews or any of that kind of workshops, things like this, in that nature, I always bring up the idea that we've been disconnected from the planet. And the more we can connect with Mother Earth, the more that we can connect with our physical bodies, the easier it's going to be to forgive, the easier it's going to be to connect with other human beings and be of service and not be drained and not be, catapulted into the chaos that a lot of people, especially people in power, they want us to feel. And so how can we lean into that universal love? That's so beautiful, pile 2. Let's see what else comes out. We have Langy Lang. This says, awaken. I don't know what to do. Trigger statement. The true statement is every moment is a new opportunity. Take time today. Again, take time today, right now. Pause the video. Go outside to engage your senses and create. The tension that has been driving your head and heart is leaving. Okay, so for pile 2, I really feel that you haven't been that grounded. Or, life has just been kind of moving very quickly and it's kind of hard for you to catch your breath. So Spirit is saying, hey, today, right? Ground yourself. Engage in your senses. Be present and see and hear and taste truly what is happening around you and the experiences you're doing, because then you can find that love. And when we understand that love is the driving force of everything, then the tension can dissipate. But if we're still thinking that chaos and power, greedy, evil, power, hungry people are in charge of our life, we're going to create that tension. But when we realize, oh no, I'm connected to the earth, I'm connected to universal love, and I engage and create through my senses every single day, that is the medicine. That is what's going to heal you and so many other people. Because we, in the end, we're only the example of others. We're the walking Bible, as Christians would say, right? If no one read a Bible, no one read the Upanishads or the Yoga Sutras or any of that, we are that walking representation. So how can you allow that tension today, right now, to dissipate? So powerful. I haven't channeled in a long time for the collective, and I can feel the messages being very potent today. Expansion. I am not enough. Trigger statements. Bergamot. True statement. I love myself. Your tender heart is in need of care. Know that your body is here to help you experience a miraculous life. Embrace it. So drink some water. I don't have my cup. I was like, I'm gonna drink some water, but truly, pile 2, you are blessed. And I feel like my pile 2 is a little more sensitive than pile 1, although pile 1 is probably really sensitive too, because I know I work with sensitive people and in a good way, not sensitivity where we're crippled and we can't, be strong and powerful and embodied, right? We are. But also, and also we have to realize and take care of ourselves, especially if we're more on that tender side, right? Coming out of winter, particularly for me, I feel very sensitive. I feel very vulnerable. I feel like I went through a lot this winter. If I think about it, I went through a big sickness. I changed systems in my business, which really kind of made some rifts in my own business and in the way that I'm functioning with it. And so I had to recalibrate. And I'm still kind of recalibrating. And so I say all this because we need to give ourselves time and space and realize time is not running out. And even if it were to run out, let's say, I pass away, tomorrow, I feel satisfied because I know that I gave my all today. I know that I've given my all to my life. I know that the people that I love know that I love them, right? And so the more we can just be able to tap into our sensitivity, the more we can give ourselves time and space, the more we love, the more we are present, and we live a more beautiful life, even in the hardships and even in through the crazy chaos. So beautiful. Look at that. We got the sun coming out for you, pile 2. So spending time outside, I can't help but like say that a million times for this pile, because I've said it 3 times, to pause the video and to go outside, to take a walk, to smell some flowers or essential oils, light an incense, do something that connects with fire. And that's why I was like, light an incense, light a candle. You know, early mornings, watch the sunrise, now it's later afternoons, watch the sun set, but really connect with the sun. I'm gonna, just like I did for pile 1, I'm just gonna show you the page so that if you want to take a picture of it, you can read a little bit about the sun. It's number 1. Obviously, you know, the sun is something that we understand, but it says expression, vitality, and identity. And on the side, it says, consider how reliable the sun is. It does the same work every day. In what way can you be more consistent in your rhythms? How reliable are you? And here it says, when the sun card appears in a reading, think of it as a tone setter for the rest of the cards. It lightens the scene, bringing energy and clarity to the entire reading. Oh my gosh, I love that, because look at that, the root chakra, the universal love. You have these like powerful awakening expansion. So the medicine for you, pile 2, that I really see is gonna be a beautiful, beautiful spring. You're gonna be very grounded. You're gonna be very much in love with yourself, in love with what you're doing, perhaps in love with a special someone. You're gonna feel empowered because you're gonna spend, you know, do your sun rituals. You're gonna be spending time outdoors. You're gonna be smelling the flowers. And all of this is gonna help you really be more reliable, to be more in your rhythms. I know when winter happens, I am in my own energy because it's my birthday time. It's colder time. My body is a little, you know, fragile in the cold. And there's just so many things that I know about myself in the winter. So I don't put that pressure on myself in the winter. Spring comes, okay, I better have a little bit more energy. I should be more reliable. I should be able to, you know, to be out more, and be able to be supportive more during this time. But I understand my capacity. And so make sure that you're following and tracking your cycles and your rhythms, excuse me. Let's pick some tarot for pile 2, those who chose pile 2. What do they need to know through the tarot? We have Yolo Yaoquisqui, which is the Prince, or the Page of Cups. What else, pile 2? Okay, Yolo Siwatl, the Queen of Cups. So we have 2 cups coming out and 2, you know, court cards. And last but not least, pile 2. Wow. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the Page of Cups. Yolo del Pocoatl. Okay, so only cups. Although you have this fire, although you have this earth energy, you are really being called to your emotional body right now, pile 2. And it's a beautiful thing, because I feel like you've gone through certain things. You've opened, you've expanded in your emotional healing and your emotional awareness. And now it's kind of like you can give that to other people, because I feel right now, and I kind of am, I've identified with the pile 1, but I also identify with pile 2 as far as like, I've been pouring into myself, right? I've been looking at my emotional health. I've been looking at what's going on in my heart space. And then now I'm like, all right, I'm good. Now I can give to others. Now, if you're not necessarily there, that's the blessing you're going to have, is that you're going to be going through that moments of just feeding, filling up your cup so that you can overflow and you can give to others. I feel that there is a pause here a little bit, because I kept saying, stop the video, pause the video. And I think that's what Spirit is saying to you, pile 2, is that to pause a little bit, right? To go slower, to allow your emotions to really build. And the more that you can build more like a solid foundation in your emotional body, the easier it will be for you to show up for others and to give that universal love. I'm telling you, these messages are potent. I hope you're taking notes. All right. Last card Last guidance for you, pile 2. Thank you so much for being here with me. Oh my goodness. I saw this card. I kept shuffling. It came back out. Trust your path. I set you upon your life path again and again until you realize that passion, the passion within your heart, is my passion for you too. Trust in your path. Trust in what you love. Oh my gosh. And in the bottom of the deck was what pile 1 had. Surrender. Surrender is the catalyst of grace. It allows more loving, creative power to step in on your behalf. A higher good wants to be present in your life. Welcome it. So if you're from pile 1 and you're watching pile 2, that message was for you as well. Look, we don't understand why things happen the way they do. But we can trust that it's all for our greatest benefit. Why do we trust? Because we have to look at the other times in our lives where we didn't know what was going to happen. And when the bad things started to happen, how sometimes it turned out to be a good thing. How the curse or the mishap became a blessing. It's what you're going through right now, pile 2. So just trust that you're being led to what you love, that your passions and your desires in the heart and your emotions are valid, and that you are enough. You are more than enough. Look at how the sun shows up for you being empowered. That is what I have for you, pile 2. Thank you so much. Again, if you're watching this before March 23rd, I have 25% off of my readings and my one-on-one sessions. If you're a healer or an artist who is looking for support in your services, personal, professional, shadow work, check out Shadow Dance Mystics. If you are looking to do more integration, if you're, in a space where you're ready to do a lot more integration with the shadow, apply for the Mysterium. And other than that, I'm here for you. Thank you so much for watching. Sending you mucha luz. Hasta luego. Peace.